Hello YouTube and welcome to this Raid Shadow Legends video. This time around we're going to talk about the arena, which I might have mentioned briefly. And I realized that I made a few mistakes with the previous, not really mistakes, but some information that you needed to have to do your recordings of Raid Shadow Legends in the last video. So I'm going to do an extra bonus video, maybe even right after I record this one, covering that information. So here we are in the game, and as you can see we have a double raid event, and now I am kicking myself. You can't see it, but here I am going oof because I opened those two void shards and now they have a void double raid event. We know it's a double raid event because if we look at the thing, it has the animation. We come in here, it says 2-time chances. And we come over here and it says that we have an 83% chance of getting a rare, a 16% chance of getting an epic, and a 1% chance of getting a legendary. And I am going to open this shard at the end of this video. And it'll either be something worth laughing at me about, or it'll be something really cool. I guess we'll find out. That'll be your reward because I got to do a little bit of ranting in order to get through this. So I'm going to try to keep it upbeat though. So if I go over here to battle, we now have two kinds of arena. We have the classic arena and we have the tag team arena. The first thing I absolutely hate, and I hope they get rid of it, is that there are rewards that you will not get if you do not do 5 classic arena fights every day. And when there's login rewards, no, not login rewards, there was another area where you had to have the 5 to get all of the stuff, and it also culminates because if you don't get your 5, if I go over here to quests, go to daily, you see that I had my classic arena 5 times. But if you go to weekly, you'll see that there's more in here. Not weekly, maybe it's monthly. One of these has more, and you can't complete all the quests if you don't do the 5 arena fights. That's one of them, yeah. And then classic arena, you can't get this. So you can't get the sacred shard and this shard unless you do all of your arena fights. So basically what I'm trying to say is they force you into playing in the arena. You can say, oh, well, you can just quit. Well, yeah, I could just quit and either not play the game or just simply not play arena, but then I'm going to miss out on all of this stuff, and that's no good. So that's my first major complaint, is arena, in my mind, it should not be part of the game where any other part of the game hinges on me playing it, because I do not like the arena. I came from playing Transformers Forged to Fight, and this reminds me of raids. And if anybody's played Transformers Forged to Fight, you know what I'm talking about. It is stressful. It has caused me to break a phone, not in this game, but in Transformers Forged to Fight. I have been working on my anger, which is the one good thing it has done for me. Anger is a feeling of being powerless, and acknowledging that is something that I recently learned watching a Teal Swan video at YouTube. You can look that up. And anyway, point being, they're forcing me to play this. I don't want to play it, and I'll show you why I don't want to play it. Take a close look at what I get. This is all that I get, and I am on Silver 1. I am not a very high up player. I'm just doing my minimums. I do more if they'd give me rounds I could actually beat. But take a look at what I get. It's always the same collection of teams every single day. It has never variated, or very slightly variated in the last month. I shouldn't say it's never variated. I will say that it has about 90% of the time not variated. So I end up with teams like this. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to help you out, because if you're just starting to play Raid Shadow Legends and now you're stuck in the arena and you're hating it as much as I am, and you're finding teams like this and you want to know which ones to go after, I'm going to try to help you as best I can as far as reading what we have here. So in this first slot that you see all of these have, you'll notice 9 times out of 10 there'll be somebody in a speed capacity. Unless it's an inexperienced person, it's usually a trap. That is the first thing to keep an eye on. most of the time you're going to see the speed thing, and you just have to kind of assume that the rest of the time when you don't see it, that it is more than likely a trap. Let's take a look at the stats here. Now that won't always be the case. There'll be exceptions to the rule, but generally, and I call it a trap because it will look like a reasonable level for a team. Actually, I can go ahead and fight this, and I'm going to leave it on auto, which I know some of you are going to frown on, but it will still give you a pretty good idea of what we're dealing with. I doubt very highly I would beat this because we have this uncreated, miscreated monster guy here, and this is to bait me in here into thinking, okay, well, these guys aren't dependent on speed to do their to win, and that's not going to be the case. Let's do that in a second, but I want to finish my point here. So here's another one of that type of an example. Here's another one. This one looks like another one you might be able to beat, but you got to watch out for this guy right here. And then the rest of these look like they're going to be speed. Okay? So something that Salt, I watch Salt's videos for Raid, something that he mentioned and stuck with me, so credit goes to him, I'll try and link to his channel below, is you got to look for their win condition. And you can generally assume that if they have a speed leader, that their win condition is dependent upon this speed leader being fast enough to get all of the players buffed so that they can get all of their debuffs and attacks out at you. And what you'll normally see in Classic Arena is you will see either this character or somebody else that's doing the speed, and their only job isn't even to survive, so sometimes you won't even see a very high number on her. Their only job is to make sure that this guy right here, this is the heavy hitter. What will happen is, and I should go through and demonstrate this, so let's do that. That'd be the best way, instead of sitting here trying to describe it to you. So let's go in with this one. I know I'm probably going to die. I'll be surprised if I survive. So I also am dependent on speed. That's my win condition. So let me describe really quick before I go in what I intend to do here, what my setup is. So I have this person to do the speed buffs because I want to be faster than anybody else. I want to get this guy. He'll fire off his, I don't remember the name of it, but it's an attack that does the chains. Excuse me a minute, I'll try and show it to you. I believe it's called the Reign of Terror. Yes. Yes, the Reign of Terror. It looks like chains when it attacks. He'll get that off. She'll either do her buff with the counterattack or she'll get her attack off. She does one that will lower the attack on everybody. And then this one here is here to heal everybody. And then if somebody dies, she can resurrect one person. And she's really good as a support character for me in this capacity. So let's go ahead and play this. I want to show you what's going to happen here, how their win condition is set up. I'm going to put it on auto. And that'll tell you better than anything I could say. So, she's got their speed buffs. Okay, this is their first hitter. That's their second hitter. Notice that my defense went down. All the defense is down. That was their whole situation of what they were trying to do here. She speeds everybody up. He does the thing, the attack that hits all of me, all of my guys, that lowers their defenses. Then he does the heavy hitting, and then she's supposed to clean up right here. Usually you just see her or him, you won't see both. It is unlikely that I will win this. That was her AoE, Martyr's AoE, which was decreasing the attack, which you see, now I'm dead. Because I was not able to interrupt their win condition. So they had Haikatun, I believe it is. Come on, Haikatun, where are you hiding on me? Okay. Haikatun, now that was her speed, so that one, and then I don't think I have the guy, I think that was Bellower, that does the decreased defense as an AoE, so that was doing a little damage, but the main job was to decrease defense. And then they had me hit with Kale, who I hardly even use in the arena anymore, and I believe Elhain? Yeah, I think that's correct. The other common setup you'll see is Haikatun combined with, and I'm doing it now to them because I want to be a jerk just like they are, I combine it with this one. That's why you see this one all the time, because she does that soften you up, decrease your defense thing. And after she hits you with that, then the high AoE hitters can come in, or the high critical damage hitters can come in like him and wipe you out. And you'll actually see that, if I could show you, in my rig in the new tag team arena. What do they call that officially? Tag team arena. Okay, yeah. So that's basically how that works. You have to interrupt the win condition of the opponent team. So speed is king in the arena. 9 times out of 10, what you want is not survivability, you want speed. It doesn't matter how strong your team is, you want to be the fastest team. However, you have to be careful, because some of these people that are doing these teams, they put up these ones that have really low numbers, like you'll see 40 and 30. I don't have any good examples right here, but you'll see something like this, but she'll be like a 30 and she'll be like a 40 or whatever. You'll see that, and you'll come in thinking you can clean the floor with them, and they're super fast and they hit super hard. And that's because they're using either special gear, they have really high-end, high-quality gear on their characters. In this case, it might be because they're fully ascended, or they've actually gone through, I'm assuming they've gone through and they've gotten all the scrolls, and they've done the layout of the masteries of their champions. I have not hardly scratched the surface of that. So none of my champions have much, well, not none, few of my champions have much of the masteries, as you can see. But what they're doing is they're coming in here to a character like her, and I don't know what masteries they're using. I bet if I Google it I could find out, and they have this pretty much all the way filled out. And she'll be at a number of a 30 or whatever, and so you come in there thinking you can defeat it, and it's a trap, because with her masteries she can easily kill you. One of the things that I've been seeing, and I think it's done through a mastery, is they have Kale done where he hits you twice. If he hits you once and knocks a lot of health off, he actually is able to hit you again, and I don't think he's normally able to do that with his skills. I think it's done through a mastery. So that would be your second key. Your first key would be to put. Actually, let's lay this out a little more clearly. Speed is king. So first key is look at your guy, whoever your person is that you are getting armor to. So in that case, we'll go over here to Martyr, and we'll see. Okay, so Martyr is a defense champion, and her attacks depend upon defense, right? So I'm only going to touch on this briefly. There's other videos that are far better at explaining this than me. But because she's a defense champion, that means the more defense she has, the more damage she does. So your focus with her, if you're going to use her in the arena, will be defense for the damage. And then it will be speed, because you want her to get her attacks off. And she may not have the fastest speed. You got to time her speed so that if you have a debuffer like the other barbarian that I was showing you, or that bellower, or whatever, you know, when you have a debuffer, you want that debuffer to come first and her to come next if that's your order. Your win condition will be based on an order. If you've got somebody in your team that's going to soften everybody up on the enemy team, you need to have them go first, and then your other people, because if she goes first before you have the decreased defense debuff applied to the other team, it's basically wasting all of her power. So you got to time that. You got to make sure that her speed is right up just below your debuffer if you have one in your team. And then your third thing you want to focus on is critical damage. Attack will not do any good at all, especially on this kind of a champion. She will benefit more from defense and critical damage. Those will be the two things. Then your third stat will be accuracy, because you want to make sure that you can hit with this decreased defense debuff. And I don't have maybe the best gear put on all of my champions, so I can't provide a very good demonstration. But try to do with your legendaries if you can. If you're just starting out, you may not be able to yet. But when you're able to, put on the 4-star gear, the highest gear you got. If you don't got 4-star, go 3-star. But do not put on weak armor on your legendary champions unless you're trying to create a trap for another team, and you want your team to appear weak, but you've actually gone through and worked on their masteries and are depending on that instead. I don't know if anybody does that, but I assume that that might be going on somewhere. But in general, you're going to want to put the absolute best gear you have. So for me, what I do, I say, okay, well, my legendaries, they've got to have the 5 and 6 star gear. And my epics, depending on how I'm going to use them, they're going to have the 5 and 4 star gear, but sometimes they'll have a little higher, depending. And then my rares will have generally 4-star gear. I don't use any 3-star, 2-star gear anymore. I've gone past that, so I don't use that anymore. A few rares will have higher gear, but in general, that's kind of the layout that I do, because I want to focus on getting the good gear to the legendaries and the epics that I'm going to use first. And then I will get the good gear to the rares, because the rares take a little more effort to build up and to make them strong enough so that they can stand on their own. Okay, so that was one of the things I wanted to make you aware of. There are actual teams out there you will find in the arena that are set up to make you think that they're going to be a weak, easy kill, and they're actually not. They're actually what I call a trap, because they're designed to make you think you can defeat them. You'll go in there all cocky, thinking you got this, and they'll wipe the floor with you because of what they're doing and how they're equipping their guys and what they've done with the masteries. Sometimes the names will give you a hint. Most of the ones that I found that are trap have some kind of name like killer or something like that on it, but that isn't always a very reliable guide. Trying to show you my defense team. I don't remember what I was going to say on that. So I'm refreshing up here. Do not buy this refresh if you can avoid it. I wasted some gems on it. I wasted a lot of gems on that, but I did it this time because I wanted to show you some examples. So here's another one. Now this one, it's iffy. This could be a trap, or it could be something I could defeat. But let's look at, we'll go to battle, we'll look at, so we've got 65k, so they're showing me that they have lower stats. But I happen to know that both of these guys have heal and regeneration and interrupt abilities, and this being a speed champion, I'm going to go ahead and do this because I want you to kind of see this. This being a speed focus, they're going to be playing off each other. They put up this two-man team because they want you to think that you might have a chance at defeating this, but it's unlikely that you do, because we've got, what is that, a 6-star ascended right here. So I don't know why their rating is as low as it is. That seems a little strange to me, but my guess is they're really tough. And those are the kind of things you want to watch out for, especially when you're starting out in the arena. I'm going to focus on this guy here because he's the main danger because of his ability to heal, but I'm going to die anyway, I'm pretty sure of it. They're hitting pretty hard. So we'll just watch. Actually, I'm going to put this on 2-speed because this video is getting a little long and I don't want to get you all wore out listening to me. So I've upped the speed on this a little bit. I have them focusing on this guy because he is the most dangerous to me at this time. I can usually survive Miscreated Monster with my team as it stands, but with him regenerating, I don't know if he does resurrect or not. Yeah, I think he can resurrect an entire team. I usually try to avoid this guy. I usually try to avoid anybody that has these two guys together. I'll be surprised if I actually beat this, but you can see how they're playing here. This one's casting buffs on this one. That one was healing, casting buffs on this one. I have the ability to stun, so that works pretty well in my favor for the Miscreated Monster guy. I should be able to beat this, but there's still no guarantee. It may look like I can easily win this guy, but it may not actually happen. We'll have to see what goes on here. But it's looking pretty promising, and I didn't think I'd actually win it. But imagine if you went into that team and you didn't have 3 legendaries and this, fully ascended Haikatoon over here, this epic. That would be kind of disastrous. Let's see if we can find any other examples to kind of avoid here before we head on to the tag team arena and win this video. So here's another one. This is one of the examples I was telling you about where she will have a low number. And you see, excuse me, she's only been ascended, it looks like to level 4. Yeah, and she's fully ascended. But if you go in here, this will be my last fight I'll show you. I'll lose this one, I'm pretty sure. I want you to see how quick this goes. This is on number 2 speed, so I'm going to put on auto. So they got their buff off. They did their shield. I fought that big guy before, and I usually do pretty well against him, but he takes forever to kill, that turtle guy or whatever the heck he is. I'm actually doing better on this fight than I suspected I'd be able to do. I was able, I guess, to get my win condition in place just before they were able to finish me off. So the Kale in this team was not one of the special Kales that have all the extra hit power. They were depending upon this legendary and this miscreated monster epic that they have to defeat me. That was what they were trying to do here. They did have a win condition of speed, but they were trying to go by sheer better characters. I don't know if better is the right word, but the power of the characters. So it looks like I might actually win this, and I did not expect that to happen at all. I thought for sure I'd lose right away. Most of those that I go into, I get hit once and I'm dead. I don't even get a turn. Okay, so now let's go on to the tag team arena, and here things get a little more complex. So you have to set up 3 teams. So I have team 1, which is the same team you just saw. Team 2 is this team, and this is a team that I have put together after testing, working together, getting the speed adjusted. The win condition with this team is that she casts strength. He will do his HP burn, and usually he gets, just before he does his HP burn, he gets his bogged down AoE off, and that usually kills or disturbs a turn meter on the enemy team. So that when he hits, he can usually kill some things off if he hasn't already, or at least get the flames going. And then if he can do his open slay, I either get a shield, or if one of my guys is dead, I get a resurrect. So that's kind of how this team works. And then team 3, I have her in. She's going to get leveled up here pretty soon. And it's the same as before, as you see in the arena with other people. She is to get off her special crumble attack to crumble the defense. Then she will get off her AoE, which will initiate, if there's any poisons or any debuffs, it will, I think it amplifies or works on those a little bit, but the main thing is it does a lot of damage. And then I've just added him here, and so I'm trying to get them to work together. He has abilities to work with turn meter, and also has a really devastating AoE, and he hits just really hard, and he does resurrect. He has a buff that he can cast that will help my characters resurrect if they die. And he can actually, because of that, have multiple characters resurrect, so I have a chance to survive it. Still not a very good team here. I'm still ironing out the bugs. You won't see a lot of people with this kind of lineup. I mean, I have some strange teams. I'm not really trying to copy anybody, although I'm using some of their ideas. So in my battle log, you can see lately I haven't been doing very good. So let's go into a battle, and we'll study what we have, and we'll end this video. So I'm looking through here, and what I'm looking at, first I'm going to look through this first section. This is the first team, the first hurdle that I have to go through to win this, and they're all really hard. So I'm going to go here to the second section, and I'm going to see what I've got. There's not so many traps in tag team right now, but that will probably change in the months to come, I'm sure, as people do this more. And it looks like every one of these teams has a really hard to beat lineup. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to go to battle. I want to see what each one lays out like. So this is 182, and I'm studying this team, and I'm thinking, I don't know that I can defeat this. I'm fairly certain that this is one that would kill me. Just something about the way these characters are laid out, it kind of tells me that what we're dealing with I think these are the leaders here in the front row. Okay, now this one's, it looks weak, but look at the number down here. I could try it, but I generally don't want to fight somebody that's that much higher than I am. Same for that one. I just generally avoid. Now, you don't have to do that, but my advice to you is don't go much higher than your number. Now, don't depend on that number being an accurate representation of your abilities. You might easily be able to kill a 300 team like this, depending on how your team's set up and the characters you have. But as a general rule of thumb, if you try to go after a team like this, you're going to die. Unless you're really good at equipping everybody, getting all of their masteries, doing all of the gear, and you purposely rigged it up so that your numbers are really low through some means or another, then you can come in with a 98k and defeat this probably easily. But for the majority of normal everyday players, especially just starting out, this is not a good idea. It's fighting off more than you can chew. So 298. I do like one thing about the tag team, and that is it actually remembers my position. It is very annoying to me in the other arena when I'm trying to keep my positioning and it scrolls back up because I'm trying to keep track of who I've looked at, who I fought, because it doesn't make a record there. It tells me who I've actually defeated or not. So here's another team that I could try for. This guy, their win condition here is that he will cast a protection. Basically, I've lost this first battle already. I can pretty much guarantee that. But this battle, possibly. But then this one, more than likely not. We've got 3 very good, as far as I know, legendaries. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and do just this battle here. And what I want you to do as we watch this last battle before we close up this video, I want you to study how the enemy team, what their win condition is, and how my team, what its win condition is, and watch how it plays together, and that will give you an idea of how, hopefully, to set up your teams if you're going to be playing Tag Team Arena if you just started out. This whole video is aimed more at players that are just starting out or new to this whole arena thing. I want to try to get you started because you basically have to play even if you don't want to, as it stands right now. So, looks like they hit me with possibly a cooldown. They're trying to freeze me. They managed to freeze one of my characters, which is the one that would give me the speed buff. So I've lost my win condition. That does not mean I've necessarily lost the round, but since I've lost my win condition, it makes it very unlikely that I will win the round because I cannot go fast enough to go faster than these guys. We've got somebody here that's going to not take damage. So that's going to become a problem for me. They're just striking me with all kinds of AoEs. I fought a team the other day. They were hitting me with, it looks like a claw that comes back from behind you. And they were hitting me with that over and over and over and over and over again. They must have fully skill booked those that character that did that out. I mean, yeah, so here they've hit me with something, some kind of an AoE to soften me up, but it hasn't given me any debuffs. Let's see how far we get on this. They've got a speed buff in. So this one was using a bit of a deception. I don't believe they had a lead character that had a speed buff, so they were trying to make me think that they weren't focused on speed, but in reality, their Haikatoon went first and was designed to go first to get their speed buff in. So this was definitely a team designed to make you think, hey, I can defeat this. But in reality, they have it rigged because they have really high speed. And my Haikatoon is high, so their Haikatoon has to be somewhere in the vicinity of 200. Mine is maybe 150 to 175. I don't remember the exact number. In speed, that'd be the number of speed. I'm living longer than I thought I would, but I'm pretty sure it's over now. Vrask does a heal. And I don't think I'm going to be able to survive, yeah, because they've got the speed on me, and I wasn't able to get a speed, I didn't really have a speed buff for this team, so, and I've got no way to heal or resurrect or do anything with him. So they interrupted my win condition both times, and that's how basically they've won so far. So usually in a team like this, I will click on, you can click on to highlight a character you want to focus your attacks on in auto. And I usually click on their healer, which is this guy here. This is Apothecary. I have him as well, but I haven't set him up in an arena team just yet. He isn't really there to do damage. He's there more to heal. And I've seen it where they have this guy heal practically all the way every time he heals and everybody around him. I think he can heal multiple. I don't remember for sure. But he also does the speed. I know I've seen once where they had the healer and the healer was like healing everybody almost full, almost all the time. So I destroyed their ability to heal. Now she's also a healer. Of course we recognize that I had this as well, and they have her as well. Okay, and now we're back to, now see, they have the same idea I had. They got to resurrect over here with Phoenix Wright, and now they got protection on him, so it's going to be harder to kill him, but it's taking off her health to attack him, so I can kill two birds with one stone, but I probably lost this round. I'm almost sure I've lost. I just lost my heavy hitter, one of my heavy hitters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is toast. That I'm not getting enough damage done to him to destroy her. She's healed up. She has a lot more speed than I've got. So I think I'm done on this one. Generally, I'll just press pause up here and just quit. I don't see any point in sticking around when I'm not happy with. I wonder how fast she can resurrect again, if they've skill booked her or not. What is her name? I can't remember. Drake? Something Drake? How's my mind so foggy right now? Sile of the Drakes. Yes, that's her name. Yeah, I'm done. I interrupted a little bit of their win condition, but they had enough set up in their team design that there was no way I was going to win that. So that gives you an example, and that was a close number to mine. So you can kind of tell, even though we're fairly close in number, because they've spent more time working on the masteries, on the gear, on the speed, and faking you out, making you think, which team was it? This one here isn't a speed team, when in reality it is. It actually looks like they don't have speed on any of their stuff. They're not really depending on speed, obviously, in the front position. But they are still speed focused, and you've got to watch for that too. Because sometimes you'll think, I can defeat them because they're not focused on speed and I'm faster. And they want you to think that because they have more speed than you think they have. They're not using a speed buff. They're actually using speed independent of that first position speed buff. So, something to keep in mind. Couple of tips here on the arena. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about gearing more than the basics that I have. Kind of open this up for discussion at this point. Is there anything else about the arena or the tag team arena, especially if you're a new player, that you feel needs to be explained better or you don't quite understand? Have I helped you understand a little better how to pick a team to fight against? Do you understand now what to avoid, what to look out for? And you now know, of course, don't depend on these numbers to be relevant to anything. This is a general guideline, and generally you want to avoid them if they're higher than yours, like these are here. If there's anything I haven't covered, just leave a comment below. Let me know. I will do another video to this if there's enough comments and requests and information that I didn't cover, that I can't think of right now that you guys want me to cover. I hope this video helps you. Let's open this shard and see how it goes. I think I've avoided complaining too much. I hope I gave some good information. Root for me. I'm hoping for a really good legendary, as usual. I'm grateful for the ones that I have, though. And there's some epics that are really neat, too. Cross your fingers. Let's see what we get. This will be my only opening. I won't do a full video for it. Yeah, I knew I was going to get a rare. And a Fellhound on top of everything else. Oh, well. That was a dud. Maybe I'll use that as a thumbnail so you guys can all laugh at me. Alright, well, we'll see what happens in the next double ancients, and I might have a sacred by then too, so we'll see what happens. Call that the end of this video. If you like what you've seen, put a thumb up there. If you didn't, put a thumb down. If you're going to put a thumb down, be nice. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what I did wrong. Let me know what I did right. Let me know what I can improve. I would really appreciate your feedback. If you want more of these videos, go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified. And there are a bunch of links that will be below this video that will take you to a variety of other things that you can investigate, including some ways to support me if you want to support your local starving artist and raid game player. I will catch you guys in the next video.